Rolling.
Here we are, still at Temple Trees. The wonderful story is now beginning to take shape. Stood next to me is the Honorable Namal Rajapakshe, who really was the architect of the initial thought, the initial concept behind getting this Commonwealth Games bid done and delivered. Namal, thank you very much. Nice talking to you. I know it is a very big story. You've got a smile on your face. Hambantota 2018, the bid has come together. You have seen the whole thing in one line now. How does that feel? How does that make you feel that the whole thing is coming together?
Well, we started this very small actually. It was just a sports city idea where we had from my younger days. We wanted to develop Hambantota as the next sporting city in Asia. So then, we thought the terrorism issue is over, the Sri Lanka is safe and politically we are stable. So we thought, might as well we go one step ahead. And that's how this Commonwealth concept came up. And then we sit down and we were talking about it. And then we went to His Excellency, the President, and we discussed with him. Then everything was under control. Then he was like, okay, let's go for it. And I think it's just started with few people talking in the village, rural area in Hambantota. All of a sudden it came to Temple Trees and it became a successful story so fast.
So that's the way normal things really need to happen. It needs to come from the village and then to the big city and then we'll start. But for you now, seeing all of this must be very special. You've got Nivad Kabral, who's the governor of the central bank. You're crunching numbers, you're looking at the big picture now. You have to canvass a lot of votes as well. How does that feel? I mean, that's the bigger story because you've got to go out and look at the 71 nations to get the votes sorted out. That's a serious aspect of it. Now, how is that happening?
Well, we have a very strong bidding team. I'm sure we will do the best bidding proposal that the world has seen before. And also, we have a uniqueness in us. And also, we have a very strong bidding team or committee who has put forward by His Excellency. And also the friendly nations who are working with Sri Lanka, who helped Sri Lanka during the difficult times. I'm sure all those nations will come together to help us, also to achieve wonders in the world. So we are up for it and everyone is working very hard, and next few months is going to be maybe traveling around and talking to our friends around the world and asking their help. I'm sure at the moment the news that we are getting, most of the countries have already confirmed that they're going to help Sri Lanka.
Which is brilliant news. Now, you talk about sport in our country, you talk about the youth in our country. You have championed the cause with your youth program, Tarunayata Hetak. How vital a part of that vision of the Commonwealth Games came from there?
Well, the main concept of Tarunayata Hetak is to unite all youth around the world. And also, first it starts from Sri Lanka, north, south, east, upcountry, and deep south. Get all these young people with new visions, ideas, and put them in together. I think that's how this Commonwealth concept also came up with few young boys talking in Hambantota, which is one of the most rural areas in Sri Lanka. And now the World Cup 2011 World Cup Cricket Stadium is being built. So that's how everything started. So the Tarunayata Hetak next task is for the medals. We are going to the masses, to the people. We are going to target boys from 12 to 15 years old and get them on track, make them run, get them on training programs, and make sure that Sri Lanka is not going to host the best Commonwealth Games ever, but also to do best in all the sports activities that we're taking part.
That's a very serious ambition. Now, your heart is a sports heart. It comes from a very long line. Your brothers play sport, your father and your mother as well. So it is a very serious story. But for you, seeing all this come together as Namal, now in Parliament, of course, that must be very different because, before it wasn't the case. And now, here you are in a position of authority and then still able to relate to sport and to the people.
Well, when we all sat down in the rural area and talking about all these dreams coming true and, making new cities and having sports villages, infrastructure, having flyovers, building ports and airports. That time I was never thought I'd get into politics, but that time I was doing my A-levels. Then gradually I finished my higher education and now I'm in politics. So now I have a better target, more responsibilities, take these dreams which was on paper as young kids to take it forward. And His Excellency has been very helpful and he's supporting us all the time. And even Hambantota city the whole master plan has been changed, the airport city, the Commonwealth city, the port city, the road network, and we are developing a railway network between the three cities. Because we want to maintain our environment, maintain our people. Especially if you take Meghajantara village, it's one of the most rural areas in Sri Lanka at one point. But now, that's where the 2018 Commonwealth Games is going to be held. Already the Cricket World Cup stadium is on, and we are going to play the World Cup there. So the people's life has been changed. So what we want to do is not to make sure that original people, 50 or 60 families who were suffering for the past 50, 60 years, generations living in that jungle, to live there and uplift their lives as well. So I think the biggest task for me is not developing infrastructure, but to develop the people with the infrastructure. So the owners of the village will be living in a better lifestyle, better world, but also living in the same village, but not to put them out. But what happens in most of the world, most of the development programs around the world, once you come up with a new concept, once you start developing a new thing, you don't think of the people who live around. You make sure they are shifted to some other place, relocate them, and you build your own city. But what we want to do is to develop the people of Hambantota with the development. So there will be a young generation in 8 to 10 years time to take up from the village to take this development forward.
Now I know that there is a little tag about the Commonwealth Games in Hambantota 2018 being the evergreen Hambantota Commonwealth Games. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, we all know that the Hambantota district is surrounded with wildlife. One corner of the state, one corner of the Commonwealth city village is going to be Udavalava Safari, which tons of elephants around and all the wild animals. And one side is going to be Yala, where is very famous of safari, and Boondara for bird sanctuary. So this is where we are going to host this game. So we want to maintain our environment, we want to maintain the green belts, we want to make sure it is people friendly and a living friendly area with a lot of green and environment. All the lakes and tanks will be preserved, and the natural beauty that Sri Lanka has, the Hambantota has. So it's all about that, and we are looking at not only that part of it, but also moving to solar power energy and recycling water, and even the grenade systems, everything will be recycled and used again. And so it's going to be one of the main green villages or green cities in the world. But we will have all the technology in the world coming up. If you take the Commonwealth Cricket Stadium, it's a state-of-art stadium where we have taken the concept of seashell, because Hambantota city is known as a coastal city for fishing. So the cricket stadium will come up as a seashell. The swimming complex will come as another something to do with the sea itself. We've already done the design, so I don't want to put out those things.
Those are little secrets.
Secrets right now until we come up with the construction of it. But yeah, the cricket stadium is already up, so.
Brilliant. I'm not going to hold you up any longer because it's been a long day. I know you come all the way from Hambantota as well today. Thank you very much, sir. Beautiful talking to you, and the best and the heart is there.
Thanks. Okay.
There you go. It's about the heart. It's about us. It's about my country. It's about the Commonwealth Games and the bid that promises to take the world by storm. Namal, thanks.
Thank you.